So what we're going to do is you're going to come down and lie onto your mat. And we're going to put the back of our hands together and we're going to run our fingers towards our pubic bone. So your thumb should be touching your breastbone. If you need a pillow here, that's fine, just grab one. Feet are flat on the floor and we're just starting to breathe. So I want you to take some really big, deep breaths. You're trying to inflate your lungs and your tummy, so your ribs and your tummy. And then as you exhale, you're just going to let it all lower back down. Okay. So I want you to notice what's happening with your hands. So you've got a big inhale and a big exhale. And what you should hopefully be feeling is that as you breathe in, your hands are kind of rocking and tipping up. So it's like your fingers go slightly more towards the ceiling. And as you breathe out, your fingers almost roll and drop down. So this is really key because when we go into our chest lift, this movement, this action of your breastbone and your ribs turning is actually what lifts your head so you don't get neck pain. So just do a couple more of those for me. Make sure you can feel that movement. Good. And we're trying to do that big lateral breath. So we're really encouraging that rib cage to move. Then from here, just let your hands settle. You're going to interlace your fingers, pop your hands behind your head with your thumb running down your neck. And I want you to cup the back of your skull. So it's almost like you're trying to sort of pull your head behind you a little bit, and that will slightly nod your chin. So from here, as you sigh, we're going to use that breath to turn your rib cage, to pick up your head, to come up into our basic chest lift. And then you're going to slowly lower yourself back down again. So keep going for me. I want you to feel that your head is always sat in your hands. So it's your hands that are supporting your head, not your head leading your hands. So we need a little bit of arm work here. And if your elbows are in your periphery, then they're going to help with that. Now a chest lift is just as much about spinal mobility into flexion as it is about your abdominals working. So my question is, are you still breathing? Can you take that big sigh out, let your abdominals just fall back as you start to come up into your flexion? So on this next one, we're going to hold it up. So you're going to sigh, let your ribs turn, hold it up. And you're going to throw your hands behind the back of your thighs. From here, we're looking down at our thighs. You pull your elbows apart. You'll notice that you come up a little bit more. Look down at your tummy. Has it still dropped? You're going to reach your left hand behind your head. Here's your skill. Can you stay up as you reach your right hand behind your head and then slowly lower it back down again? So we want to use our strength whilst keeping our range. Big exhale breath. Turn that rib cage. It's almost like you're pulling a sweaty shirt off your back. Throw your hands behind your thighs. Pull yourself up. This time we're going to go right hand goes behind your head. Sigh. Can you stay up as your left hand goes behind your head and slowly go back down again? We're going to do one more each side. Big sigh out. Let your tummy just fall. Throw those arms. Pull yourself up. How high can you get? Keeping your feet on the floor. Left hand, stay up. Right hand, and sigh your way back down again. Last one. Big breath out. Throw those hands. Pull. Really widen through your chest as you're here. Try not to let your shoulders find your ears. We're going to go right hand, stay up, left hand, and slowly come back down again. Fantastic. We're going to move on to a single leg stretch. So hands on your tummy. We're going to go one leg up to tabletop. Sigh out. Make sure that tummy stays really nice and connected. Second leg out to tabletop. And again, we're going to use this action of your hands. So if you pop your hands behind your thighs, your hands will probably, or your arms will probably be a bit straighter. Now we've got no support here for our neck. So I want you to look down to just below your knees. So we've got a little bit of a chin nod. And remember, if you're feeling this an awful lot in the front of your neck, come from a pillow so you're coming from a little bit higher. Now, as you sigh, I want you to just drop your thighs into your hands and at the same time bend your hands. So we'll feel this connection, almost like your thighs and your hands are meeting each other. And I want you to feel that you're doing that from the back of your arms rather than your chest. So from here, all you're going to do is take a nice big sigh out. We're going to come back to our chest lift. So as your hands meet your thighs meet your hands, slightly push your feet towards the floor and we'll come up into a nice little bowl shape. Here's our chest lift. This is the position for single leg stretch. So from there, we're going to transfer your left hand to the top of your right shin and the other hand's going to join it. So your outside hand will be lower. I want you to reach your left leg away. Now, if you've really got that connection, so if your thigh is pushing into your hand, you can see I come up. If your shins are pushing up, you'll also come up. And this is the place where you can find almost a little bit of rest in your abdominals. So we're just creating a shape and staying here, okay? Now, as you take a big sigh out, we're going to switch. So remember, it's outside hand, bottom of shin. Switch. You reconnect. Can your shin push into your hand? Can your thigh and foot reach towards the floor? Both of those will keep you up. And we switch. So we're going to do this relatively slowly to start. So we really want to feel that you can get that connection through the back of your arms and back of your shoulders. If you keep your gaze towards your pubic bone, can you see that your tummy is just falling back? And my question to you is, can you stay up? So whatever's touching the floor stays touching the floor. Whatever's not touching the floor doesn't. What do you need to do to make that happen? Good. So we're going to start to speed it up a little bit. Big breath out, switch. And again, switch. Switch. So you're going to see if you can keep your breath going here. You're almost not going to be able to breathe as quickly as your movements. Can you still have that breath? Talk along with me. Sing if you're not sure. Count to 10. Do anything you need to do to try and get air in and out of your lungs. Good. One more. Last bit. Hold. And bring both knees in. Lay yourself all the way back down again. Beautiful. So this is going to take us into our double leg stretch. So with double leg stretch, we don't have the arms holding onto the shins to keep us up. But instead, what we're going to do is keep your hands on the front of your shins. We're going to use that to help get us up at the start. So shins come up into hands slightly and almost pull into your shins at the same time. So you feel like your elbows are creating this big kind of circle connection from your fingertips all the way through to the back of your arms, back of your shoulders and back out the other side. From there, again, look below your knees. And as you sigh, press your feet towards the floor to start you to come up. Here's our deep dish bowl shape. I want you to keep your legs in tabletop for a second. And you're going to see if you can put one hand onto the front of your forehead. And then you're going to drop it back down to your shin. Pull into that hand and then see if you can lift the other hand up. Pop it back down again. So this is what I want you to first be able to do. Okay, so just one hand. Can everything stay the same? Can you move the other hand? Great. And then we're going to come all the way back down again. Give yourself a second. This time, we're going to come up and we're going to end up with our hands being thrown in front of us in a sort of diamond shape. Okay, so can you pull into your shins? Let those shoulders settle into the floor. Nod your chin in a little bit, or if you need those pillows, grab them. And as you sigh out, send your feet towards the floor as you pull into your shins. Up you come. Big breath in, big breath out. Hands come to your forehead. Legs are still in lazy tabletop. Hands come back to your shins. Okay, pull. That gives you the break in your abdominals. Big exhale breath. Hands come back to your forehead. Hands come back to your shins. Great. Now, if you can't quite stay up, then see if you can do it with this part of the movement. Can you stay up as high as possible as you go hands to forehead? Now we're going to push our hands away from us and then we're going to bring them back. And you can see that that push, like you're throwing your hands away like you did on your chest lift, brings you up a little bit more. Push those hands up, let them come back, hands come to your shins, and then let yourself come back down. So we want that movement, that push through air to allow us to come up a little bit more. This time we're going to go into the full double leg stretch. So we're going to go, pull into your shins, big sigh out, feet find the floor as we start to come up. See if you can stay up there, keep looking at just below your knees. Hands come to your forehead, legs find tabletop. We push the hands out, we push the legs out. We circle the arms round, we come back in again. Everything pushes and throws away. We circle the arms out and lower the legs a little bit, everything comes back in. Keep going. Everything straightens and reaches the wall away from you. Circle the arms, lower the legs, come back in, pause, hold on to your shins. We're going to come back down again before we do one more set. So my questions are, how low do your legs have to go? So it's as low as your abdominals can control it, and it doesn't go into your back. Again, how high do your arms have to reach? Ideally, they never go below your ears, because if they go behind your ears, they're more likely to make you extend. Are you ready? Pull into those shins. Big breath out. Can you push your feet towards the floor to bring you up into that bowl shape? We're going to go. Legs come up into tabletop. You'll come a little bit higher. Hands come to your forehead. Stay up. Everything pushes away. We reach down with our legs, round with our hands to come back in to our modified tabletop. Push everything away. Reach it down, out, round, and back in again. Can you use your breath? Sigh. Reach as you still find those abdominal connections to come back in. We're going to do one more. Sigh. Keep an eye on your bottom of your knees. Hold it there. Hands to shins. We come all the way back down again. Fantastic. Well done. Put one leg down to to the floor, the other leg down to the floor. Give yourself a pat on the back. So we're going to turn over and we're just going to go into a little bit of extension, because if you notice from the video we did about your six things, then one of them is balance. So you can use a pillow here for your forehead, but what I always say to people is that if you keep your forehead lifting off your mat, you are in extension. We're going to put our hands by our chest, and you're going to keep your head hovered off that mat. So it's your forehead, your nose, your chin, they're all just hovered off. And this way, our anti-gravity muscles are meeting gravity. So they're going to be working just a little bit, just enough. And I want you to start in this position with some pelvic tilts. So we all know and love these. They're all really easy. We can do these in our sleep. And I want you to feel what that does to your legs, what happens to your feet, and also what happens to your lower back. So from there, you're going to pause, and we're actually going to press our whole pubic bone into the floor. So you should have slightly flattened out this gap kind of around your hip bone. I want you to really push that pubic bone into the floor, and you're going to send your feet with the pointiest ballerina toes in the world away from you along the floor. So they're not going to come off the floor for us just yet. Elbows are pointing towards your feet. And as you inhale, you're going to start to send your elbows towards the floor in order to come up a little bit. And it's not very high. And then you're going to exhale to come back down again. Now, if you're really hypermobile, you can reverse the breathing. But we know from previous lessons that our inhale can facilitate extension and our exhale facilitates flexion. So we inhale, elbows come towards our feet, and it's almost like you're pushing down into your hands, and it's like you're trying to slide your hands up above your head. They're just not moving. And then if you pull your hands towards you, you'll actually dive through your arms. Again, forehead, nose, chin, none of it touches the floor. And again for us, press into your hands, feel like they're pushing away as your breastbone comes up and through your arms. Is your pubic bone pressing into the floor? This should not be in your lower back at all. Pull the hands towards you as you come back down. And you can experiment with your breath here. We're going to do a few more. So see if it's easier for you on your exhale to feel like you're really turning your rib cage, like your breastbone is going to come up. Is your gaze at the front of your mat or is it up above you? It needs to be at the front because our head needs to follow our spine. And then pull yourself back down again to come back down. We're just going to do one more. Pubic bone pushes, feet reach away, stand into your hands. Really reach that mat away from you so we activate the back of those shoulders and then pull all the way towards you. Good. Give yourself a second. Your head can just rest on your hands. Now, we're going to do swan rocker or a modified version of swan rocker. So for all of you with spine correctors, and I know that's a few of them, then you can grab those and be a bit fancy. For the rest of us, we're again going to stay lying on our mat with our hands above our head. Now, first place I want you to be is just notice what it's like. So if you go thumbs together, then you'll feel like you're a bit cramped in your shoulders. The more we walk our hands out, you'll find this point where your shoulder blades just settle onto the outside of your ribcage. And it feels okay, it feels quite nice. We're going to turn those palms towards each other so that we're going thumbs up towards the ceiling. And this is all about breath. Okay, so it's modified swan rocker. So here's my challenge of the week for you. You ready? Forehead, nose, back of the chin, back of the head are meeting gravity. They're all off the mat. Can you push your pubic bone into the floor and reach your toes so far away from you that your legs are dead straight and you're really active through the back of your legs, through your bottom? Can you keep them really pulling away from you? And at the same time, it's like someone's holding on to the front of the middle fingers and they're going to pull you up and above your head. So your hands just start to hover off. Again, they don't need to be far off the floor, but can you find that lift? Shake your head, make sure you're not holding too much tension in your neck. And can you really feel it's like you are the tug of war rope? People are pulling you in two different directions. Here's my challenge. Take a massive breath into your tummy. What happens? Breathe out. Good. Keep going. Breathe in, inflate your tummy. Breathe out, let it drop down. So hopefully you'll find that you're starting to rock. As you inhale, your legs will slightly drop as your chest comes up. And as you exhale, your hands will drop down, your legs will come up. But only if you're creating and keeping the tension through the whole of your body. If your knees are bent, if your feet are flexed, if your toes aren't pointed, if your hands aren't really reaching, all you'll do is feel this in your lower back. Yes, this is working, but this should be a muscular feel, not a pinching. We're going to do a couple more. Can you really inflate that tummy? Can you make it as big as possible? Big breath in, hold, big breath out, come to the mat, let the legs come down, and sit yourself back into a child's pose. So we just go the other way. Excellent, well done. Why not check out these related videos? Thanks for joining us, everyone.